Now we go back to Oregon,
Okay.
Pacific Northwest.
Sure.
Couldn't be a little bit more different than Alabama.
Good. Yeah.
Opposite ends
And this
of
guy's
the
being
many
prepared.
ways. In so many ways. I will say, however, that there's Oregon and there's Portland.
Okay.
I love that he has the preface.
And I mean, especially here, right? And I really like to say I'm from Oregon. I'm not from Portland. I do like Portland.
Which city are you from? Eugene?
It's a small town called McMinnville.
McMinnville, all right.
Not a lot of claim to fame there. Linfield College, the small liberal arts school there. But it's about 45 minutes kind of southwest of Portland.
Okay.
Yeah, great little town. So yeah, graduated high school, and I'm a transfer like Takar as well. Started at Portland State University. It was close to home. I thought it would be fantastic at that time. This was in the kind of early mid 90s when Portland was still cool and safe before the last 25 30 years happened.
Back when the Blazers were actually pretty good.
That's right. Well, I mean, I think the last time that happened was the year I was born. And so, but I didn't realize what it meant to go to like a commuter school when you're 18, 19 years old. And I think the average age student at that time was 27. And it was the campus was right downtown. So there was some cool things, but I just thought, you know what, this is not for me. I actually realized I do want a more traditional college experience. And I had at that point gotten into cheerleading. I was a college cheerleader, and I knew a couple of, I had a girlfriend who was on the cheerleading squad at the time. Her and her friends were wanting to do this, what's it called? It's like a student exchange where you could go to another college for a year in another state, in-state tuition. So I thought, all right, I'm going to try this out too. So I started looking at schools, and I just thought, okay, where's far? Where's different? Where's going to give me this traditional college experience? I can try that out for a year. And I landed on University of Connecticut at UConn in stores. And so I thought, all right, well, I like this cheerleading thing. I'm going to try out over there and see if I can just keep that going while I'm there. And I made it. And so went and initially was just going to do 1 year at UConn and go back. But I fell in love with just the whole campus life and the atmosphere. And they had a great basketball program.
Yeah,
at the
they
time.
sure
So it was
did.
a good and that second year that I was there when I graduated at UConn. I decided to stay. We won the national championship, so I got to be there for that down in it was Tampa.
You were
at
cheering?
The time. Yeah,
That's so
cheering
cool.
there. Yeah, so that was.
So that might be something where we go on YouTube and find the highlights and see him.
You could probably
I think
see
you
that
could.
there's some photos, and so yeah, was there, graduated at that time. I wanted to be a teacher. And I was in my senior year, and I was a history major, but I was also taking a Mandarin Chinese and French. And an advisor asked, she said, why?
What are you doing,
What
bro?
are you doing this? You're a senior, you've got the credits, you don't have to do this. And I'm like, well, first of all, I like it. And second, 12 versus 18 credits, same price,
Yeah.
Why not? She's like, if you thought about linguistics or languages, I mean, this is unusual. And at that time, I had no idea what linguistics was, but that just opened a door, put me on a path. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this combination of teaching and languages. So I went and got a certificate to teach English. I wanted to travel abroad. So that took me to Hawaii. I did a teaching certificate for teaching English there at Hawaii Pacific University. Good program. I had been in Hawaii a couple of times and loved it. So I thought, all right, I'm going to go out there for a year and have fun, get this certificate, then go on to teach. And that's what led me to Asia for the first time. So professor there introduced me to these guys that ran, it was in this incubator. They created educational materials. So it was like ESL, like English as a second language educational materials. And it was on a university campus in Seoul, Korea. And so I got that job right out of that program. So kind of my first job out of college was in Seoul, Korea, writing English language teaching materials for this thing. And I also taught while I was there. And that then led me into the university teaching stuff. Yeah. So got the job at the university there and decided I like this. I'd like to make a little bit more money. I'm never going to make that much money in teaching, but I'd like to make a little bit more. So if I'm going to do this as a career, I need to go back and do grad school. So that's what I did. Back to Hawaii, University of Hawaii at Manoa, and went to grad school for what they call second language acquisition, which is kind of how we learn and teach multiple languages. And was a wonderful experience. I mean, it was probably one of the top 5 program. My opinion, I'm a little biased. I think it's the best program in the world for it, but it's at least top 5 program for that. Really heavy academic focus. I mean, the professors in grad school, they would tell us like everything you do it with the intention of getting it published. They're like, we don't want to see anything from you that we don't think you can at least attempt to get that published. And it was, I mean, the pressure was, I mean, it was intense, but it was also great experience. But also realized like, I don't think I want to work in universities. I got that close to it. I had a TA ship there, so I did a lot of teaching while I was in grad school, and I loved the content, but I just thought, I don't think I can survive, not even the external, but just the internal politics of a university. I just thought, this is probably not for me.